On September 11th, 2001, 19 men hijacked four U.S. commercial airplanes, all transcontinental flights, carrying a total of 11,400 gallons of jet fuel and flying towards the West Coast. The objective of the hijackers was to seize control of the planes once they became airborne and use them as weapons of mass destruction. The goal of the hijackers was simple: to crash into four targets, all of them iconic American buildings, sending their message of hatred all across America. All four of the planes crashed, killing all passengers, crew members, and terrorists on board. The buildings that were damaged or heavily destroyed were the 110-floor Twin Towers, numerous other buildings at the World Trade Center, including buildings 3 through 7, and St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church. Flight 11 hit the mall side of the Pentagon. In addition to all the people on board the plane, hundreds of people inside the structures, fleeing from the structures, and those running into the structures in an attempt to save others, died. A total of 2,997 people were killed in New York City, Washington, D.C., and outside Shanksville, Pennsylvania, due to the terrorist attacks. Only one of the four planes did not reach its target, the fourth plane, UAL Flight 93. Passengers aboard the flight, thanks to their cellular phones, heard of the previous terrorist hijacking and chose to sacrifice themselves rather than let another plane destroy another building and kill countless innocent lives. Although there is speculation as to what weapons the hijackers used to carry out their attacks, most rumors circulate around the utilization of box cutters. Members of the National Commission on Terrorist Attacks have reason to believe that some of the hijackers may have been armed with folding metal utility knives. The 9/11 attacks were orchestrated by the Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. The attackers were Islamic terrorists from Saudi Arabia and several other Arab nations, reportedly financed by the Al-Qaeda organization, which was led by Osama bin Laden. They were allegedly acting in retaliation for America's support for Islam, involvement in the Gulf War, and their presence in the Middle East. Al-Qaeda was always annoyed by the presence of foreign powers inside of Saudi Arabia. However, they never wanted to start a war because it would cause their country to be under siege. Instead, Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda decided to focus more on attacks in the U.S. The Clinton administration and the CIA were then worried that they would perpetrate an attack in their own country, so they told the Taliban to hand over their leader. Al-Qaeda refused to do so, which resulted in 9/11. Soon after, on September 20th, 2001, President Bush called for a war on terror. Congress put up $29.3 billion to help fund the war. In the war's first year, Congress spent $36.7 billion to help fund the war. So far, $2.126 trillion American dollars have gone towards the war on terror. Prior to 9/11, families were able to walk up to the gate to greet their friends and family. Today, you may only go to the gate if you have a boarding pass. Also, due in large part to the 9/11 attack, the Bush administration created the Department of Homeland Security. The 9/11 attack inspired many Americans to enlist for military service. The Immigration and Naturalization Service and the U.S. Customs Service, both formerly part of the Department of Justice, were consolidated into the newly formed U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, also known as ICE. The agency has overseen a tremendous increase in deportations. They've nearly doubled since 9/11. The U.S. intelligence state boomed after 9/11. The boom resulted in an increase in government oversight, primarily through a vast network of web and phone surveillance.